big ones.
Also, I looked at the notes. We're a bit more than freeballing. We've got some people. We've got some topics.
We can just talk about our bracket the entire time.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, mine's fucked.
Go through our 5 rankings, and I can tell you about all the games I've watched.
Well, I'm going to ask you to bring up the rankings later.
We could talk about Wesley's bracket specifically.
Wesley, how many do you have? You've got to have. I have 10 of 16.
I'm not sure.
Wow.
Did you open the door, Steve? Did you open the door?
Yes, I let everybody in.
All
We're
right.
live. We're live to 19 wonderful folks here.
Sorry for the delay. We had technical difficulties, everybody. Thank you for being patient.
This is the show now, right? Are we
I mean,
doing
for
the show yet?
This is for the live folk. The people are watching us live, hanging out.
But we can all fuck off, and you guys can talk about this live, and
Well,
These 3 mugs wouldn't be on the screen if we were on
it'll get
the
clicks.
Why can't we just fucking leave this as it is and then cut off of this into like a cold open and then go into the show?
The following podcast contains mature language and adult discussions.
I don't get how my max score could possibly be one higher than you. I'm 149 and you're 148, but you're in first with 44 points.
Because you probably have somebody that's coming out of the East that's still alive.
Right. Kevin would have one less option, one less possibility with somebody who he got wrong.
Marquette's out for me, which means I lose the East. But
that's what fucked me.
In the world, I don't think that anybody had, the prop. Nobody's going to have. It's like the Princeton game. Nobody's got Princeton.
No.
So you're fucked.
Oh, my bracket is disgusting.
Yeah,
it's even worse than those rankings because my possible is like 90 something.
Yeah, but you're dead if
your final's dead.
If you lose a final team first game, that means you don't pick up any if Purdue would have gotten beaten by, let's say,
right, second or third round, yeah.
Michigan State to go to the Elite Eight, you would have got all those points that they would have racked up.
But for them to lose to FDU here.
I mean, everybody had Arizona over Princeton.
Right.
Nobody had that fucking game.
No, I didn't.
Nope.
I don't give a fuck.
I had Arizona going to the Final Four.
The chancellor of Princeton had Arizona.
So, if it's between,
I have Bama beating Texas, but in retrospect, after watching the tournaments, I would have chosen Connecticut against Alabama. Connecticut.
That's who I have in my college buddies.
I think Connecticut can win the whole thing.
I think
if I had to pick somebody right now, I'd pick Connecticut.
Where's my East?
Because they got they got that bull inside, and they got that 7'2" freshman that comes in for them, and that kid can play.
If UCL makes it to the final, I win our bracket.
Did you see Patino's going
if
to
UCLA doesn't,
they're going to have a hard time. Gonzaga always goes just far enough, but
and then
not.
They fuck you.
Yeah.
But they ain't. Gonzaga might get by UCLA, but they ain't getting by. They're not getting by Connecticut.
So what's the difference maker in me and Kev's brackets? Like, what one game do I need to pay attention to? Because I haven't watched any yet.
Where's yours at? Let me see. Let me just look at your bracket.
Got it up now.
Boy, they give you a lot of available screen space to look at your fucking bracket.
Right?
On that
What is
website, huh?
Shit?
There we go.
Okay, so
He's got Bama, Purdue, Houston, UConn.
And I have the same as you do. You on that one side, if Bama doesn't come in, you're the same as I am. You don't have you don't have a finals. I think that you've got 2 1s left.
Yeah.
That's why you've got more points.
Yeah.
You have 2 1 seeds.
So, UConn Gonzaga is probably what you should be looking for.
That's what I had too.
If
UConn Gonzaga. Not that it makes it fucking.
Because if UConn Gonzaga and then Houston Texas. If this 1-4 can hold for you, you'll probably win our whole thing. That's what you're looking for. Whereas I
would feel really bad taking y'all's money with this shit.
Does the
spend it on a fucking a sports book on a game that you know nothing about?
Exactly.
Actually,
have they fired the wholesale butcher that happened to walk onto the court and coach Purdue this tournament, or does he still have a job?
I saw him like 2 days ago at Baskin Robbins.
Yeah, exactly.
What flavor did he get?
No, he was behind the counter.
Oh, okay.
I just got mine in a cup. I don't want to break my teeth on one of those cones.
David says he has an NWO tapestry made up at his local print shop. I want to see
awesome.
that.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
So,
Is there a way he can tweet that at us or email one of us
He
or
could
something?
tweet us, or he could, you could email it too. You could do.
Send us that shit. We'll throw it up.
Here, I'll put my email up there.
I tell you,
We don't want to wait on a Zoom.
Tennessee's beat the shit out of some people physically.
right?
That Duke game, man, they look like I thought they were soft, and I said, maybe not.
9-1 on. I'll be in Vegas tomorrow, Kev. Do you want 9-1 on Connecticut?
I mean, nah.
Okay. Like,
Yeah,
Kev-
I'll take 9-1 on Connecticut.
Now, did you pick
I could
against
find 11. I don't know what the Vegas odds will be.
Yeah.
Kev? Did you pick against Tennessee because you just didn't want to like?
No, we lost our point guard to an ACL tear right before the tournament, and they played like shit against Missouri. They had, I think they had 11 turnovers in the first half, and I just thought that they didn't have enough time. They had the talent. I just didn't think they had enough time to take somebody to run their offense, to take it because that guy played so many minutes, and what they've ended up doing is taking that. I don't know. I can't pronounce his name, but he's a white dude.
That one.
Yeah, I mean, he's the shorter of the 4 and 2. There's a big 7'1", like Croatian or something that plays for Plavic or some shit.
Huh.
I don't have time to fucking know these people's names anymore.
Did he paint that picture?
No, that's
behind you.
That's actually from the Ukraine. That's why there's so much blue, Ukraine
Blue and
and yellow in it. Yeah, I didn't want to say that I was ahead of the curve when I bought this.
Oh, okay.
Anybody watch Raw this week?
I heard about the promo at the end.
Bueller?
I watched the segment. I'm not watching WWE as much as I'm watching the Bloodline story. That's
I'm watching. I'm a Raw guy, so I've been watching that.
Kev's doing the homework. He's coming prepared.
No, I just think that it was actually kind of interesting that they made a match last night. Like they made a Mania match where they had the storyline with Zayn and Kevin Owens. They became lovers on, I think, SmackDown.
The hug heard around the world.
They got back together, but Owen left in a Charger. That was a good choice of rentals. And no, it is. I mean, those things are important. You don't want to leave out in a fucking Volt. But
right.
So they had, they had their moment. They went, we Sammy, Kevin, and how the Usos came out. And the Usos said, "Yeah, we got the straps," and they caught them. They caught Owen and Zayn gazing at the WrestleMania Goes Hollywood up in the rafters, and the Usos' music just happened to hit right when they were just falling in love. And Damn it!
Lady in the Tramp. And the WrestleMania signs of spaghetti.
Had to turn around and deal with that situation, and lo and behold, by God, you know what? We just so happen to be the Unified Tag Champions, and we don't have a dance for WrestleMania, and you two just got together. What do you say we do this? One brother to the other, no, I don't think so. Whisper, whisper, you're on. Fucking money. No,
So
but
I
actually,
really-
this late in, it's nice to fucking get another match.
Yeah.
There has to be foresight in order for that to happen.
I'm really surprised that they're not going with that for night one main event. Like, I don't know what other match they think is going to have a bigger.
I know that I just know that I, as a worker, wouldn't want to cover that. I wouldn't want to follow it.
Yeah.
I think Rhea and Charlotte are gonna be amazing, but there's just not a story there beyond we love Rhea. Like,
Everybody on this screen right now knows about the quarterback sneak play that we have in our arsenal. I'm just going to leave it at that. So
we're not going to surprise anybody.
No, I think everybody knows we have the quarterback sneak option. So I just think that the world needs to know who everybody is on the quarterback sneak option.
Coach Rosie wants to know if you know your WrestleCon times for next weekend.
WrestleCon, I go 9 to 2, and then I think there's a second one on Friday. Not 9 to 2, and then maybe 5 to 8 or something like that. I don't know what the frick. And then the other two are just 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I'm going to be there on Tuesday. I'm flying in. Well, to San Diego, and then Wednesday. I'm there Wednesday through Sunday night, I think.
I get in Thursday at like 11 p.m.
Oh, sweet.
Just make sure you fucking I'm just Mr. Get there.
Have a restaurant open somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Or room service.
I've never been to LA before, so it's gonna be. I'm pretty interested. My brother's going with me too. He's a character.
A lot of times it's proved too much for the man.
That was
Took a second.
Going back to find a simpler place and time. I know you will. On that midnight train to Georgia.
train to Georgia from LA to. That sounds terrible.
Oh
my
man.
God.
That's like 6 days. That's terrible.
Not if you have like Roosevelt's body in the train with you. That's kind of cool. Yeah, this one time I had to go from Georgia to fucking LA on the train, but it's all right, man. President Roosevelt's body was like the next car up.
Here's David's tapestry, by the way.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So there we go.
oh yeah.
Does Carole King at any time sing around that?
I like that.
Brian Haremza wants Nash Karaoke.
You
That
basically
should be
have
one
it
of our-
every week.
That should be one of our live events. Like the
Fucking, I'll kill some suspicious minds.
dude, that was always my go-to Elvis.
Yeah. Well, I guess you see what you're doing to me.
Do you think I could? I think like one of those karaoke booths in like Koreatown hold like 25 or 30 people. Do you think I could get 30 people to pay $100?
Live show.
That be enough? No.
Hell, yeah, no, for an hour. For an hour.
Of just Nash doing karaoke.
Nobody else.
Yeah.
More than we're
So-
making a night.
So, me and my buddy Ben, he was playing pro football. We're in Birmingham together, and we're injured. So now we're mobile, and I'm on crutches. This is after I blew my quad out, and I'm mobile and can get around on crutches. And we're going to different. And on Wednesdays we find this bar that is karaoke bar. So we go up, just fucking around, and we sing Elvis together. And the people are like fucking. This is like serious. This is like fucking American Loves Talent or one of them fucking bullshit.
Sure.
Well, you can tell I watched those.
America Loves Talent.
Yeah, America loves people that are on the screen.
America loves The Voice.
America loves Terry Crew. I know he's
America
on
Loves
one
the
of
Voice
those.
Talent. Yeah.
Yeah. So you think you can dance, sing America? But
The Masked.
yeah, the people fucking got shitty. I mean, just super shitty. Like, no, this is a serious thing. The guy goes up there and hits, mother. I said, oh, sorry, Dio, sorry, buddy.
Okay.
I thought this was a fucking,
Yeah, some people take
Have
that
fun.
very seriously.
Yeah. How about when people boo? What?
Jeez, what the
I have booed some local fucking, like, when those people like on a Wednesday show up at some restaurant you go to and there's an outdoor tiki bar, and there's some guy out there, come Monday, it'll be all. I'm like, get the fuck out. If you sing
Jimmy
fucking
Buffett the fuck outta here.
if you've seen Jimmy, all you've sang is Jimmy Buffett and fucking Bob Marley since I've been here, off tune.
Right.
Like, I gave a guy $50 one time. I said, I'm going to be out here in a half hour. You just shut the fuck up. Like, I'll give you $50 not to play. Like, my son was a musician. I mean, I was like, I'll give my kid $100, have him go up there. At least it sound good. Fucking hell.
Just to play something more contemporary.
Exactly.
A fucking yacht rock.
When you go down to Florida,
Especially a couple of those outdoor beachfront flagler establishments.
Jesus Christ, if you don't hear a cheeseburger in paradise 6 times a day, I'm like, motherfucker. And every fucking guy there is overweight. He's got his sunglasses pulled up on the top of his head, but he's completely raccooned. He's so fucking burnt from here down. He's got the white fucking eyes. And for some reason, all these motherfuckers' T-shirts have a front pocket. I don't know where you get the T-shirt with the front pocket. These motherfuckers all have that small pocket in the front. Like, who? Is that like a prerequisite if you fucking live in Alabama? Or?
It's called the flagler. It's the style. If you look in the catalog.
Some open mic nights in Pittsburgh are horrendous. You get, like,
do they have anything on the South Side?
Yeah, I think they do. I don't go to the South Side too often, but I would almost imagine they do. So I'm in
Is that where you get killed? The South Side?
Yeah.
I dig the South Side.
Well,
you're 9 feet tall.
But they
can dig the South Side.
The South Side, like, they have some, like, just a strip of bars and everything like that. So it's just like, if you're going out down there to party, it's a good time. But
they still got that like a blues bar down there.
Like, so
it's
they
kind
got
of a blues rock and roll. They have usually on the weekends that used to have live music.
They still have live music there, but there's they got rid of a lot of like the music bars and the college kind of bars. That there was like a big area that was called like Saddle Ridge was one, which was like a country bar, and they got rid of that. That happened.
I'm going to name one. This is way before your time. It was called Catula's. It was a small place, and the guy had a piano in there, and he had one hand, and the other hand was like some kind of either a hook or something. But he played piano and bartend, and it was like this. It was. I think at some point David Lynch was going to use it in a scene, and he just forgot. He just forgot, and they fucking just kept it running.
They left it.
I mean, it was like being on a movie set. You'd be like, "What the fuck?" All of a sudden somebody come in with a fucking turban on. What the fuck?
A dwarf just walking backwards for
context. Piano bars there, but like Murdoch's or something. It's called Charlie Murdoch's. That's what it's called. And then
this one here was Somebody out there, hopefully, and one of our listeners will have been to Catula's.
I'll have to ask some of my buddies about that have been in Pittsburgh longer than me.
God, it's so long ago. I mean, Birdie's Steakhouse was there out on towards the airport. And, yeah, Hyder's place.
Steve, how many views did we get the day you went crazy and dumped all those videos? On that, just that one day.
I think it was 70. I think it was 76,000.
76,000 on one day.
Let me pull it up to be sure. We just had it up.
Did you just dump a ton of clips?
Yes. Well, because there were a bunch of clips because what I do is I make sure there's a short clip and a long clip, and that they go out at the same time every day. But then we had a bit of a backlog of things ready to be scheduled to get put into the back of the line. And then there were a lot of clips like, is Alec Baldwin guilty?
Kevin Nash's unreleased songs.
Weren't going to play very well if I put them in the back of the line, because the back of the line is like July.
Right.
So I just dropped them all at once as I went through.
So in other words, what you're saying that our listeners got a bunch of shake.
You can still smoke it. You can still smoke it. Won't get us high. Make a pinner.
Buck, sometimes when you do that single bong hit, man, the pull out bong hit, you light it and you pull it out to fucking get the. That was my go-to in college. I pull out the cafeteria tray, clean the seeds, grind a little on that. If I could do, and try to hold that motherfucker till I got out the back door of the fucking chalk door.
So it was 64,000.
64.
So, and then the day we released the episode was 39. So every now and again, I think we should dump on them.
Take a big dump.
So are the people that are subscribed and get notifications, did they just get fucking blasted with an individual email for every
You
one
know
of
what's
those?
funny? I want to say
Not
something
every
about
single
this.
one. But
I was going over some of the data, and I was sending Kevin some like videos of the screen. And do you know the ratio of unsubscribed to subscribed?
Yeah,
of like the millions of views we have is 50. It was 51.49.
that's really good, actually. Most channels are around 3090 or 3060.
Really? So only 36% on an average channel.
So here we are. We're 5148.
Bukkake.
So I was looking at that like, oh man, we have to push the subscribe button more. But you're saying that's good?
So I'm gonna pull up a different channel, but I'm gonna
bring up somebody else's channel. Let's guess who it is. Come on.
Delete the shit as soon as we're done recording.
I'm gonna punch in on a different channel in a way where anyone watching this won't know what channel.
What
you have
fun
to do
is
an
that,
impression of the host.
Steve, what do you have left to lose, Steve? Put up the fucking
A lot.
I'll have nothing to do with this.
You put it up, and then we'll do impressions of the host.
So
all right. I like that picture you sent me, Sean.
Not going to tell you who, but 4257.
Oh, okay.
It's not bad though.
That's still pretty good. Like,
yeah.
We only beat that by 6% of subscribed.
And that's in the last 28 days as well, for whatever that's worth.
Right.
I've been told I need to stay closer to my microphone.
Did you see that? It was like fucking.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
So, once again, not going to say which channel this is, but 6237. That the general, about a third are subscribed is the general rule. That we're way above it. But
all right,
you're right. Let's get more fucking subscribers. Okay, let's get the gold one.
That's pretty sweet, though.
What's the gold one? How many do you have to have?
1 million.
Fuck.
I know, right?
I can spray paint this.
That second fucking hurdle on the fucking steeplechase is a little steep.
Yeah. We couldn't go 100 to 500 to 1 million, like 3 grades.
God. 500,000 to anything.
What did we do on the rankings with the podcast list?
Oh, let's
7, I think we're at.
We were at 7. We opened at 7. jumped 3 to 7 today.
I don't understand these things. The little green arrow says went up 3, but we were 7 both days.
Yeah, we jumped 7 to 7, or jumped 3 to started in 7th, and then jumped 3 to 7th.
So
well, this makes more sense. No change, right? So rank number 7, no change.
Yeah.
Number 7, no change, but that probably might have happened yesterday. We jumped 79 in Canada sports.
Hey.
Oh, what did I talk about?
Did you mention Tim Hortons or what?
I think I might have talked about the original 6 Canadian.
Y'all, look at the number 1 sports podcast.
Spittin'
Spittin'
Chicklets.
Chicklets.
That's hockey, I guess, right?
It is hockey,
Yes.
Sports.
Wow.
Let me see if it said pardon me as if that's syndicated on ESPN.
Yeah. It's F1. They love F1 in Canada.
Where's McAfee show at?
They
Probably, maybe not Canada.
let's see how they.
They don't allow it there.
What are we?
20 seconds.
Oh,
22.
And then
Trump 79 spots to what?
Dude, Bukkake's sounds like it's a T-shirt, just based off of one dude's misspelling. Man, I think he purposefully misspelled it to lead off the trail that he's like, it's in his favorite tabs.
Did we beat Don Cherry?
Like, I don't watch enough videos to know how to spell it.
So what number were we? 70 something?
We jumped 79 spaces to be 117.
Oh, to 117.
So I had the top 100 up, but still 79 spaces on a chart at all. Something happened.
Yeah.
Another 117, and we're
number
home
1.
free. Baby.
Next week's episode, Bret Hart.
Toronto live show.
I always like when they had the numbers from India. You're like the 2,000th 130, like, but then you do the math against the 3 billion people. You're like, oh fuck,
That's not bad.
that's like stuck at 7.
That's like when you hear about how well, I think it was Downton Abbey, a show in Britain, did for a while. Oh, that show had, like, I think they were saying like 6 or 7 million views. And as an American, I'm like, that wasn't a whole lot. And then you had to Google how many people actually live in the Great Britain. Where it's like, that's half of all households. That's way too many.
Oh yeah.
It's way too many.
My wife would watch all of those. Like I just want to meet the dude that like DVRs that shit. I want to drive across country with that motherfucker. Because every fucking 15 minutes, I'm just going to look up, because I'm not giving the wheel up to that. No way. I'm going to look over to my right and go, really? DVR'd the motherfucker.
Did you ever fuck with the Crown, Kev?
I mean, I shit in Jerry's crown one time, but nobody can prove that. No, I never fucked with the King's Crown, but I know it got shit in. I always liked Jerry. So thought he threw a good punch.
Did you finish Your Honor? I don't know if we may not be able to talk spoilers, but you saw the finale.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was kind of like
I didn't.
Last of Us. I was kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
I'm
Not
watching
saying anything, Sean.
Was it just a season finale or was it a series finale?
They're saying it's a series finale, but the entire season 1, they said there wasn't going to be a season 2, and then there was a season 2. So who the fuck knows?
I mean, they could very easily. I mean, it ends with her on his doorstep.
Wow.
I didn't say who or what doorstep.
He's fucking with you guys. It's. But yeah.
What's the one? What if? Have you guys seen that on Netflix?
Is that the Marvel stuff?
There's
No,
a different.
it's yeah, I saw that because I had to look it up, but it's Renee Zellweger.
Oh.
She does kind of an indecent proposal to give she funds this young girl's some kind of a biotech thing that she's working on that would have saved her twin sister that had a disease, and she was. It's kind of it's all right.
Yeah, I like Renee Zellweger.
But the thing was in order for her to fund it, the husband had to bang Renee Zellweger, and then he went. Then she put the.
It's like a punishment.
Well, I don't know. Zellweger's not bad.
I liked her, Me, Myself, and Irene.
I liked her in
20
Cold.
years
I liked her.
ago?
I liked her in Cold Mountain. Hey, when you're 64, man, the shit that you're allowed to fucking keep that lands on your boat, they don't come and measure it. You got to throw that one back in, big man. Way to go, buddy. She's got a pulse.
No, but even in her prime, she always just had that, like, she just had a Sour Patch Kid in her mouth or something. Like, she just always
It's
had
a bit
that
of a
weird-
fish face thing.
Yeah, but if you actually throw your hog down any broad's throat, don't they all look the same?
It's another T-shirt.
Well,
Right?
Yeah.
we're gonna find out who the women
Depends on
are.
the mustache. How
We're gonna find out who our ad-free shows fans are that are women because they're gonna leave.
or confirm.
I just made an absolute valid point. I've never seen anybody it doesn't. I've never looked down and saw my hose in somebody's mouth and thought, "Is she holding a rose in her teeth?" Like it's pretty much what it is. Fuck. It's like eating spaghetti. Fuck, you're eating spaghetti, man. Slurp that shit.
So is this the show? Are we going with the show? Is this because
Yes.
Because then I just
We're
got
going.
about 8 minutes left. I just get some stuff in real quick.
Well,
Get my shit
anytime.
in.
Let's go to the open graphics and we'll come back.
You know, we could do.
This is
If-
this is what you get. We got to give them something because
agree.
just say just for the sake of fucking conversation, say we weren't doing this and we were doing something different. This would be something we would do that would be completely different from our other show. So
Let's ask our live audience. Do you think this should be the open? Should we go right in, go in raw?
I don't see anybody. I don't see their comments. Does anybody see their comments?
Yeah, we got.
This is pure premium shit right now. I just saw Josh say that. See,
Oh, yeah.
fucking.
I love coming here to get educated. If not,
See?
grab membership.
Yeah, so that's the argument, is that this is premium
Yeah.
for the folks that
Yeah.
our top guys. So if we give it out on Mondays for free and they're getting to see like 3 extra beautiful faces, then what are the top guys paying for?
Yeah, I understand that, but I mean, just say that we actually came up with a concept where you had to pay extra to see this.
Right there.
Yeah.
He
I gotta
just,
be part of
Zoil
this
just
next time.
said what you said.
Yeah.
People are going to say, I got to be part of this next time.
Yeah, and you guys can. And I mean, it might cost you $11 a month, but hey, we can do that.
Soft.
Darren says, "Let them talk."
And Darren loves bukkake.
I think-
So how about this, Steve? You have the opening. Just run the opening
All right.
and go right into where we don't have to run it now. Just put it in post.
Okay.
And
It's
come
not
right
gonna
into
have.
the pre-show.
It's not gonna have the same flow, Sean. It's not gonna feel the. It's gonna. We're gonna come in. It's gonna throw the whole thing off. We won't have the fucking. We won't have our vibe or our rip from our open. You're so fucking production orientated. I, in the other words, am a fucking entertainer. I need my prompt.
All right, relax there, Sammy Davis.
No, I was Lily Tomlin.
Oh, you fucking cunt! Possessed by David O. Russell.
Yeah, what the?
Am I
fuck?
canceled yet?
No. Close.
The show drops Monday.
So the last 34 minutes you've been watching Kliq This. That's Kevin. I'm Sean, and this is the crew. And we're trying something new. We're trying to loosen the vibe a little bit here.
This is our way of saying sorry about that Florida guy fucking jersey bracket.
It was loved. Did you read the comments that
We're
demand
gonna pay that off.
there'll be more?
No, I actually did read that we lost a couple of hundred people, but that's okay.
So we're down to 7.
Nice. Fuck.
Slipped 7 in the ratings.
Ugh.
So what are you doing? You're doing what? Are you in Richmond coming up?
Yeah. I'm in Richmond this weekend. I will be there.
Okay, Kevin had a little bout with a little dysentery action.
I have a lot of other things going on in my life. One of them is I've got to take care of my wife, and my wife's going to Disney with her girlfriend, and then she's going to be out of the. I have a very hard time leaving my wife alone in the house, without my boy being there. So we're dealing with it, and everything looks good on paper until it's time to get on a plane and leave her, and sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes I get the last week I made myself sick. Made myself sick like Wednesday. I started making myself sick knowing because she didn't want me to go, and I was just like, fuck. It really comes down to it. The world will not fucking stop if I don't make a town, but if something happens to my wife, I really don't want to fucking lose anybody else.
Oh, God forbid. But would she have any interest in going with you when you travel, or?
Oh God, no. It's I've always my wife would say I remember I took her on the road a couple of times early, and like from Atlanta we drove and we made some towns, and I remember one time, I think, it was Steve. Steve was in his car, and we were in a
the orange Jetta?
No, he was in Steve Austin, and he was in his Honda. And we were in we had a Taurus SHO back then, and we followed each other, and we made like maybe a 2 or 3 day trip down in the Panhandle. And Steve, we just got 2-bedroom places and crashed. But, yeah.
Well,
but that was it. She went to, they flew her to Wrestlemania 12, Hartford? 11. They flew her to that, and my sister went, and I don't think either one of them dug it.
I don't blame them. I just meant under the circumstances that. But okay, so here she's going away anyway with a friend, so you'll be hitting Richmond.
I'll be hitting Richmond
Comic-Con. What is the?
Yes, Richmond Comic-Con. I don't know if it has a name. I just know it's Richmond.
You'll be
Comic-Con.
Actually by the time this airs, you'll be back. But for
yeah,
the folks
and
with us live who are in the area, you can. There's a live show, by the way, for those of you listening. So we do have a live audience in the house.
But Mick's going to be there.
Oh, good.
Is that it? Galaxy Con? That's where I'm going, Galaxy Con. That's a good one. Yeah, you can tell it's good cosplay.
Will you be dressed as a furry by any chance, or?
I'm going to go as a 6'10", 63-year-old prick. No, I'm looking forward to going. I've missed a couple of these, and so this I'm looking forward to getting out and seeing some people and saying hey.
Very good. So if you also would like to see Kevin and you're listening live with us, the live audience, you get that experience with the premium subscription.
Captain Kirk's there.
Fucking Shatner still, damn it. He can't enjoy this at that.
I think me and Mick's here. Pop through that pretty quick and see if we can find Mick. We'll be on the same thing.
There he is.
Is this wrestlers? Yeah. So it's Nasherino, Hangman, and Mick Foley for the gentlemen.
Scott Steiner.
Scotty, Hardy, Matt, Britt Baker, the doctor.
And it continues. Lex.
Anna J. Lex. Damn, Ron Simmons is there. And
Leva.
Leva.
She hosted a show for us.
Let's see. I'm not familiar with any of these cats.
Well, there you go. There you go.
I'll get to see Mick. I would have gotten a chance to see Mick in what was the one where they canceled my flight? Louisiana. I was going to see Mick in Louisiana, so I'll see Mick.
So for
Friday.
feedback from last week, Solinar Avenroth says, R.I.P. Scott Hall. When cable TV was at its prime in the mid-'90s, you found a way to make it even better, if just for a few years. You kept me home in front of the TV and out of trouble as a struggling teen. For that, kudos. And a very similar, Christian Garcia sends a very similar sentiment. Hey, Kevin Nash, I want to thank you and Scott Hall for keeping me at home and entertaining me in the most rough years of my life, where all my friends were in the street running around at 8 o'clock. I was tuned into Nitro, staying out of trouble and staying safe. My God, how in the long run that saved my life. So not only were you entertaining, you were saving lives, Kevin. Keeping people from the clutches of gang life.
I hear that. I'm not saying that, I hear that every day, but you do hear that. You hear that a lot. Like, if a father-son will show up at one of these signings and they'll say, like, we never really got along too much, but we always got along on Monday nights when we watch wrestling together. And things like that. And you think to yourself, like,
I get a lot from the old Kayfabe fans is medical stuff, like I was laid up with a kidney infection, I almost died, and I watched your stuff, made me laugh. So that stuff always kind of gets me. Like, when I'm sitting there making dick jokes with X-Pac on camera, I don't think that somebody's near fatal kidney infection will be that I'd be part of of what saves that person. So the medical stuff is always kind of interesting, and it happens kind of frequently when people.
Yeah, we all get we all get sick,
Yeah. Chris Brackett, yes.
I was going to say that I stopped drinking for God, it was over 3 weeks, and just my body just didn't react well to it. Just I had some digestive issues and stuff. I went to both of my doctors, and they're like, "Well, we can do a CT scan, and maybe your bile." And I said, "You know what?" I said, "How about I drink an 8-ounce glass of wine?" I drank an 8-ounce glass of wine. Get up the next morning. I'm like, "I'm cool."
You're good.
Yeah, I'm cool. Easy. They say the word, and I once again, you can't just go cold turkey.
Yeah.
You can't do it. When it comes down to it, it would be the equivalent of the day after Thanksgiving actually taking the bird out of the refrigerator and not putting it in the microwave. I can't eat that shit. Can you? It's dry as fuck. Don't eat cold. Yeah, don't go cold turkey on anything, including cold turkey.
Chris Brackett, Kevin Nash busting balls is the best part of the entire podcast. He's right about the tournament. Fuck you, Chris. He's not. Uber Tony, I love the podcast while I'm Ubering here in Bloomington, Indiana. As a driver, people get into listening to the podcast. It's a ritual to me. So you play this for people, unsuspecting people and their families, getting into an Uber. You treat it to maybe a little Harry Chapin by Kevin.
Just make sure if I can, have a rosary. Make sure there's not a rosary in their hand. They're probably gonna. They might, or maybe hand them one.
Yeah. So. Father Mulcahy, how do you like the talk about the taint? Cow Palace Drive says, great podcast. If a movie is ever made, my vote is Ben Robson from Animal Kingdom to play Kevin. I'm going to need a visual, guys, of this here.
He was the tall of the brothers. The taller of the brothers. They're all Australian. There he is.
Okay. Yeah, all right, that works. Everyone listening probably knows what he looks like already.
Yeah.
That's how I know that I'm spiraling toward the grave. I lose touch with popular culture, which I swore would never happen. And that was always my barometer of a cool guy who's like in his 50s or 60s. Like when I was a teenager, like 20 or something, if they could talk about Nirvana or Guns N' Roses, or I'm like, I didn't see the person's age, because that was just the number. I was still able to relate. Now I don't think nobody who's 16 can fucking relate to me now. I guarantee you that. Other than like my immaturity and my bad jokes and stuff, but like I don't think I'd be able to hold that.
But there are some things that, I mean, like my son, I call it screamo music, where you just, and I think that sometimes I'll catch myself listening to like an easy listening station if I'm taking a longer drive, and it's like like a song like Orleans, like "Dance with Me," you're singing along, you're like, how do I fucking know every word to every song? Because but it was an era that music was so lyrically driven. I think that's why I enjoyed rap music, or enjoy rap music so much, is because it's lyrically driven. And if I can
bars, motherfucker.
Yeah, and if I can actually understand, some people they rap and it's might as well be screamo. But other people, man, when they rap it, it's just like, I like lyrics. Period. That's what I mean. All I need is, you can strum a little Gordon Lightfoot in the background. I'm fucking good.
The wreck of the Edmund.
Yeah,
I'll give you a little.
Yeah, I always liked when he said, 4 o'clock the maid in the hatchway gave in. They said, fellas, it's been good to know ya. Yeah, oh, thanks.
The modern day Winston Churchill says, greetings, gents. I've been watching since day one. Kev is so on point with travel. Airlines are so full of shit. There should be an MTV show for airlines called To Catch Some Flying Bullshit.
I actually saw his comment, and this is I on my son's soul. This happened. This was back when cell phones now are starting to become, like it's the leather pouch Nokia with the flip phone and the antenna. But I mean, it's a semi brick, but it's everybody has one of these fuckers. And your AT&T bill on the road's like $1,300 a month. I'm not kidding you, man. You're fucking your bill is so high. So I go behind where the counter is, and in the old days there would be phones back there. If you remember, like a lot of times the phones would be behind, like where if it said like going to Denver and it had the board on the other side of that motherfucker would be a payphone.
Okay.
Because it was quiet. And so I went back there to use my phone, and I hear the one girl go to the other one. So we don't have 2 flight stewards. So we don't have 2 of our flight attendants. Let's just tell them it's a mechanical. And she says, I don't have a problem with that. She goes, just say it's mechanical because they're going to be here. But that way they won't be mad at us. And I walked around. I said, yeah, but I'm telling everybody that it's because we don't have 2 flight attendants. And they looked at me like, but just the fact that like they were so caught lying.
Conspiring.
It must be how Tucker Carlson feels every day. He looks in the mirror like this. Da 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 da. Oh fuck! I slept good. Oh shit! They got me. So.
Damn texts. Dr. Quarek says the Bobby Knight thing always confuses me because we hear the talk about how all big-time athletes are alpha personalities and do not take shit from anybody. Yet, as Kevin points out here indirectly, every player on that sociopath's team just took his relentless abuse like a scared child. Pathetic. Well, what fucking choice do you have? You get signed to IU.
I knew that fucking guy was a dick the minute he walked in my house. Now, how do you not know the guy's a dick? I wouldn't sign to go anywhere before. like put your name and going in the Army. That's what the stupidest fucking thing on earth, because you never see anybody that's, life depends on them recruiting you. They're as nice as can be to you. You get off that bus, wherever your fucking basic training is, the motherfuckers screaming at you. But I already went through all that shit, man. Like, they were screaming at me. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like, it doesn't bother me.
You're talking about, like, boot camp?
Yeah, they'd scream and get, and my whole thing is you can't get in my face.
Can't reach.
Right. You can't get in my face. You can get in my chest.
You sack.
Whew, telling you. I'm going to get. I talked to the lady from the stem cell place, and I said, "Is there any way I can get my sack done down there? When I get them stem cells?" She said, "Why would you possibly want your sack to receive stem cells?" I said, I said, aesthetic, just prettier sack.
I wonder what it would do if what some stem cells would do down there. Put that injection in there. We'll see. Maybe we can
turn that 11 soft into a 12 hard. At least. Jesus, call that bitch the Gordie Howe Bridge.
Andy Kaufman is going into the Hall of Fame. That was an announcement this week.
Yep.
In their celebrity category. And I was pondering this afternoon, and I reached out to an authority in this business who might know some things, a prominent writer, and I didn't get an answer exactly, just kind of his opinion, but I think that because the talent, and I talked to Kevin about this too, and he pointed something out, and I'll let him point it out live on mic. I thought that your induction was contingent on the signing of either a Legends contract. Now I'm aware there's another kind of contract somebody was telling me about, which isn't exactly a Legends. It's like a special services type contract, which maybe it's not around anymore, but it was at one time in the last few years. But
there's still guys on that contract.
Okay. But signing something, giving them something, and then in turn you get because you got to be on the show, and they have to be able to sell the show and all that with no residuals and all that shit. Now with the celebrities, there's no fucking way Mike Tyson or somebody of that ilk is going to forfeit all that, unless there's just such a huge sizable payday, a couple $1 million or something, then they don't fucking care. But so there's got to be a different kind of agreement for talent.
It's just to go in. Yeah, I think that what it is they pay maybe $10,000 to go in,
but like not to Mike Tyson, right?
Well, I mean, to me, Mike Tyson's a fan. Mike Tyson already got his paydays at WrestleManias and all that shit. I just think that it's the honor of going into the Hall of Fame.
For a wrestler. But a boxer going into the wrestling, you think he cares?
Fuck yeah.
Think Pete Rose cared?
Fuck yes.
Because what if somebody said, I don't want to, I'm not going to be there, I don't want to do the show, you want to put me in,
Then he wouldn't have a graphic saying that he was their next inductee to the Hall of Fame.
Right, so they just would. So it's not really by merit, it's by merit for someone who wants to be part of the show.
Yeah, I mean, but it's
because why isn't Cyndi Lauper in? This is my whole point. She mustn't want to go there and be associated with that now.
Or maybe they haven't reached out.
I would bet that they have. She did more with Vince for that product at that time in the 80s than any of the celebrity inductees. There are worthy ones that were put in, but
that's a long day, that Hall of Fame. And like somebody like her, I mean, like girls just want to have fun.
Yeah, but time after time, you right. want to be paid for your for your efforts. You want to be
That,
recognized.
like time after time, fucking, it is the fucking sand pounds through the bottom of the hourglass. Thus is the day called fucking Anzio / the Hall of Fame.
Well, you really see someone's true colors when you keep them there all day. I just think that she was a huge, huge marquee name at a time when you didn't have cell phones and YouTube and all this shit to distract. You had some of the channels on TV, famous people on TV, famous people in the movies, famous people on the radio. That was it. Kardashians weren't running around. So Cyndi Lauper was like the equivalent of Taylor Swift today. And she agreed to go on fucking Piper's Pit and all that shit, and just brought so many new eyeballs.
You know what? I will find out.
Wrestling.
I will find out because you're going on a tangent. Okay.
This is what people pay for. Our tangents.
No, I'll find out why because I'm curious now. So
that's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
You know, we were shooting when I was shooting Roddy's timeline. That weekend, I had tickets the following night to Cyndi Lauper. It's my daughter, my oldest daughter was like 10 at the time. It was her first concert. So I figured I'd break the ice with a Cyndi Lauper thing. And I was this close to saying, Roddy, you think we could hit the backstage door? She'd fucking open it for him, right? How could she not? I didn't, though. I didn't want to mark out. Nor did I think Roddy would in any way attend a concert with me. Nor should he.
What do we got here?
WME moves into the celebrity estate business. What am I looking at here, Steve, for God's sakes? Andy Kaufman, there he is. WME is the agency?
Well, yes, William Morris Endeavor, who Vince has very close ties to, and they're one of the potential buyers.
Okay, so that's
Which
so. What they're
explains-
doing is they're buying the legacy of dead performers.
The
Is
estate
that through-
business, yes.
Is that through Brian Wittenstein?
Let me read the article.
I know, Brian. What is he doing now?
Phil Sandhouse is who's going to be doing that.
I thought that Wittenstein was at William Morris.
New division run by Phil Sandhouse, a veteran estate manager and consultant to the late icons like Frank Sinatra, Buddy Holly, and Whitney Houston. But
You know what's
WME
crazy? You know what's crazy?
He went from pushing a pencil for Dixie Carter to being an agent at WME.
Phil Sandhouse? Or are we talking
I'm
about a
logging
different
off.
person?
What was I?
Holy fuck!
You didn't know that?
Text.
All right.
Go ahead. Well, I'm sorry.
No, I was saying that when they actually showed the picture of Andy Kaufman on Twitter that he was going in, like somebody did a tweet, and I said, "That's not Andy Kaufman." In my mind, I was thinking Jim Carrey,
who played.
And yeah, that's how convincing. We talked about Carrey last week or last show, that I actually looked at him when I went, no, fuck, man. He played like. Then I went back and watched a bunch of the Andy Kaufman stuff.
And what conclusion did you come to?
Well, the one thing that kills me is everybody that's on these chats is like, well, I wish kayfabe was. Yeah, motherfucker, and I wish I could sit in Santa's lap and really think I was getting shit. Everybody grows the fuck up, man. It's still kayfabe if you kayfabe in your house. How long if you've got an older brother or sister, how long before the Santa fucking whole thing's done? The minute the oldest one finds out, it's
over. Yeah.
And he's like, you two fucking boobs. Fuck that. It's mom and dad. Like, come on, let's rifle through the house when they go out, and we'll fucking find all our gifts.
I was great at it. 2 hours.
Oh, my son was, we kept, and the thing was, in our house was the presents that mom and dad gave him were wrapped, and then the gifts that Santa left him were out. So if it was a bicycle and you had to put it together, that would be out. I put together an electronic drum kit one year. Motherfucker. I got to bed around 4. He was up at 5:30 wanting to see his presents. I was like, ah.
What was the best present? Everyone remembers one, right? What was it?
Mine?
Yeah.
God, like something I really want. Oh, I wanted, it was a fucking robot. It was, what was his name? He was Yellow and Garuti, Tootie Robot, maybe, something like that. He fucking walked like a, you know, and then he had a bar in front of him and a bar behind him. And so when he hit the wall, he'd
turn around.
Right? Yeah, he went the other way.
Yeah.
And the thing was, is we used to take him in the backyard and put him on the back, like the alleyway stoop, whatever you want to call it. I guess it was a porch. I don't know what the fuck. And we'd shoot it with our BB guns. Like you were going to stop it with a BB gun, but the plastic was every once in a while you'd hit it in a fucking place and take a little bit chink off it, but.
In television was my big one when the video games first came out. Like
that didn't come out until I was in I was probably in high school.
Exactly, but I'm giving for my contemporaries here. I have to give them something less than the AARP version of the show. I got that fucking card in the mail. Let me tell you, the other day I threw it right in the garbage. I can't deal with it. It's an admission of some kind. Maybe I can get discounted car insurance. People are telling me it's worth it to do it just for the.
I get envelopes from the fucking Social Security every fucking 3 or 4 months, man.
Yeah.
They wanted me to take my shit. I'm like.
To take it now?
Yeah, take it now so it's less. I'm like, it doesn't matter either way. It's just going to pay for it'll be my bar tab when I get older. That'll be my monthly bar tab.
You know, something that I know 50 now. Thought it was like 65 or whether, but now it's apparently 50. So they just send me the fucking card in the mail now. I barely have a choice. But maybe I should investigate it for discounts. Everyone tells me. Do I need the discount?
I've never used it.
No.
No, I've never used it.
Are you a member? Do you pay your $12 a year?
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Clearly not. Then.
I wouldn't know because I've never used it. You got to use it to get turned. I'm sorry, sir. We're gonna have to turn you down. You've never paid.
You can take 100% of the ad money we get and just send it right over there, and you'd be covered annually. Yeah. Let me tell you an ad that I'm always excited about.
Can we, before we go into this,
into Blue Chew? Go ahead.
I love Blue Chew. I was thinking maybe we could get paid by these fucking ad pricks that haven't paid us in Bitcoin. Since it doesn't fucking exist anyway, we could just say they owe us $65,000 in Bitcoin. That way they're
in no different position.
No different position because we're not seeing shit.
This, Kevin, is our old friend RVD. And this is RVD on The Heartbreak Kid, a friend of yours who always seems to engender heat with people. But here it is, RVD on Shawn Michaels.
Name on the list, Shawn Michaels.
He's playing pick a hand, whether he would have had.
You'd be the only one that didn't want him to pick a hand, if that's the case.
Conflicting energy, yes. You know, I don't remember any moments when like I was thinking of being more aggressive than thinking, wow, what a dick, you know. But after he dripped with insincerity, you know what I mean? Like after I was gone for a while and I came back to the Royal Rumble, he was like, that's what I enjoy about these things is like you get to see people that aren't normally here that come back, you know, and to let me know I'm not part of the family or whatever. You know, when I inducted Sheik into the Hall of Fame, the next day he was in the lunchroom and he was like, "Rob, you were charming and funny and witty, you know, like what a backhanded compliment. It's like, dude, I know you think I'm retarded. That's why all my promos are cool and whatever. And that's the RVD that they know and still know. But so, I mean, I wouldn't say we were tight, you know. He could have taken some action that could have responded or warranted said hand pickage.
Right. But it just never happened. John Laurinaitis.
I'm always a fan of the of RVD's impressions every once in a while.
We may have to take the R word out of that.
Are we gonna be canceled? Are we gonna be canceled?
Might be. Yeah, he turned hard into that first cross-eyed.
Did you see?
Yeah, that was a little stiff. I gotta get heat with me.
Stiff one of the week.
No, you know what? Though, by watching those kayfabe, you know, it's not even the same human being that lives on the planet right now.
Me or Rob?
Sean.
Oh, Sean. Oh, no. Yeah, no. This is about his time in WWE with him.
Yeah, but I think that when it's brought up sometimes, I think that there's a lot of people out there that maybe don't subscribe, that should subscribe, but
click the subscribe button if you're watching.
Yeah, do that. I think that's where I was going. And but I think that people think that that's who Sean is now, and it can be further from the truth. And you know, you could ask all that young talent that he's working with at NXT what, you know, his passion, and
I'm sure, and I'm sure they would speak.
No, I mean
that's all we have to judge by. I mean, if I watch Rocky 2. I'm going to speak about the Stallone I see on screen. I don't know what he looks like now, but I'm going to say, wow, he looked great in that. He may look differently now, but that's what we're gauging. That's what we're judging. Stallone circa 1982. HBK circa whatever year he would have been there with Rob, 2000.
2005.
Okay.
So 18 years ago.
Listen, we've waited long enough, Kevin. It's time for round 2 of the Florida Man Jersey Guy March Madness Tournament, the March Sadness Tournament.
Because I have to go piss.
Come on, we're going to put the shot clock up for you and everything this week.
I'll go take a piss.
You have to vote. This is impossible to do without you. You're leading, by the way, for anyone who wasn't watching the pre-segment, I don't know what the hell we'll call that happened before. Kevin is in the lead in the Kliq This crew March Madness brackets. A whopping $500 on the line. And so therefore, clearly we need your influence here. Only 4 games, though, Kev. You'll be happy to know this week. Should we increase the shot clock then maybe to 20 seconds?
No, let's just fucking do it.
Okay. All right, so we're heading
but the graphics look great.
Thank you. We're heading into the Florida category here. The number 1 seed and the number 5 seed. The 18-minute face-eating incident and the guy who asked the cops to test the meth for its purity. Or how are we?
We're just talking about pure Florida man, right? I mean, face-eating can happen anywhere. But when it really comes down to it, if I think about it, asking the cops to test your meth is about as Florida man as you can be. So, what do you guys say?
So Kev's going with the number 5 seed. The meth.
It's been that kind of a bracket across the country. I mean, is asking the cops to test your meth Princeton?
Right. Is that our Princeton?
Is it? I mean,
so David voting from our live audience that the meth is, and that's clearly the tiebreak. I would have gone with 5 also, and I see Dominic and Wesley were 1.
Jeremy
Jeremy
Priest just came with meth.
All right, so that's it. So that gets it. That was the tiebreak right there. So meth advances. I see what Kevin's saying. The Florida man quality that we
Yeah,
hear
the
about is
pure-
abject stupidity. Anyone can get high and I guess eat somebody's face.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
There,
I feel it.
Boy, the Vegas money just got fucking rocked.
Oh, this is FDU all over again. All right, so the second Florida game is the man takes kid on a paintball drive-by, and the car ends up getting shot up by real bullets. And then this cat, the number 2 seed, was banging a dog on the lawn of a church in a nativity scene.
The only thing missing from that description is the fact he had a Tim Tebow fucking Florida Gators jersey on while he was fucking the dog. That dude is so Florida. He don't know.
Is it just fun to fuck with the Gators fans or what? Is it just endless?
Oh, fuck.
Endless amusement. All right, I'm on 2 for this one. I'm on the number 2 seed, the guy hitting the dog in the nativity scene. Kev?
Did you have this? What's this? Oh, I'm with the ass fucker all the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right there. All right, so that sets up an interesting final next week.
Did you see Bill Barr was talking to? Oh God, was it? What's her name? I can't think of her name. She's a Jewish lady.
Cloris Leachman.
No, she's a Jewish lady. She's got black curly hair. She's she's been around forever. It's not Gloria Steinbeck, but help me out.
Oh, did she just have that documentary on Netflix about being in New York?
Her last name starts with an L.
All right, help us out here.
Just find out who fucking Bill Maher's had on his podcast. Annie
Fran Leibowitz?
Annie is
Fran
it Fran
Leibowitz.
Is it Fran? Maybe that's who it is. They were talking and Bill Maher said,
"Pretend It's a City" is the name of the documentary, by the way.
Okay, yeah. So Bill Maher says, fucking, that Florida's, if it's not Trump, it could be DeSantis. And he said, it's kind of like a petri dish of the Republican Party. And she came by, and she came back with something. He goes, "No, think about it." He said, there's the old people. There's a lot of people that move in from New York. There's the older demographic. There she is, Fran Leibowitz.
Yep.
And they go back and forth, and finally at the end, he says, "I think it's a perfect melting pot." And she goes, I think it's part of the Confederacy." Just her timing. I didn't know justice because I was fucking around with what her name. I can't believe I couldn't remember Fran, but it's not like I listened to the
she's
show.
funny.
Yeah, she really is.
It's
She's
a good
brilliant.
documentary too, if anyone wants to check that out.
So
Let's
okay.
move to New Jersey, the New Jersey
back to
bracket.
the-
We
yeah,
need
back
to
to
get our
the
last
side.
2 games. Okay, the Toddler Fight Club set up covertly in the daycare center. Parents learned through a hidden camera what was going on there.
I'm going with the number 1 seed on that. That's as Jersey as it gets.
And the DUI suspect claims his dog was driving, apparently. And this is unanimous. I
That
see everybody voting.
that motherfucker could be in Florida. Four could be in Florida.
It's not Jersey enough. What about our live audience? Do we get any votes there that might tip this in the other direction? Or are they feeling the Toddler Fight Club is also the... what do we have there? Yeah, Toddler Fight Club wins. He's David's predicting the whole thing, that they're going all the way with that.
First rule about Toddler Fight Club is you can't
Toddler
talk
wins
about
that.
it.
All right, so it seems to be pretty unanimous there. I agree. And then finally, the last game of our second round. Someone who brought 32 bags of weed to court, and then the doctor who put some loads on some patients got busted.
It only came on 1 patient.
All right, let me think here for a minute. I think he apologized. That's my favorite part. It's
He
not like a
apologized
car accident.
He apologized for squirting?
Yeah. Well, for taking the time to take his pants down, whack off, and do a premeditated shot on a patient. He apologized like it was an accident. Oh boy, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's pretty depraved. I mean, that's
just fucked up. That's what he can't slide. I don't give a having 32 bags of weed does not fucking circumvent the fact that this doctor on the bottom needs to continue to have his face on our show and just be loathed by
right, so
the
we move him on,
magnitudes.
then.
Yeah, the doctor's the fucking scumbag.
all right. So our final next week, we'll see the doctor dropping one on the patient.
Question was the patient hot? It was fucking Ted Cruz. So you decide for yourself. I personally don't find fucking Wild Bill Earp fucking too attractive.
Wild Bill. All right, there we go. Next week's bracket. This is it. The final four in Florida. The gentleman asked the cops to test his meth. He'll be going up against the Doggy Style and Nativity, and then on the Jersey side, the Toddler Fight Club taking on the Dr. White Load. Very good games next week.
Ooh.
And that's that. We'll see what happens.
See if we can't get Jim Nance on to fucking call this fucking final four.
I was hoping for a little Marv Albert. Yes. A pretty depraved fuck in his own right, from what I remember of those news stories.
We lost. Speaking of, we lost Willis Reed.
Yes, did you see that?
Yeah.
Only 80. Which, well, you know.
I thought it was 82.
Was it 82? I thought it was 80, but still.
You say tomato, I say tomato.
You know what, though? Honestly, I hadn't seen him enough in. You know, you see the veterans a lot of times, like Bill Russell when he died. He was always on television. I don't see Willis Reed.
No.
I wouldn't have been able to tell you if he was alive or dead.
Somebody asked me, like, where do I put Willis Reed? You know, Dave Driscoll, a friend of mine, said, you know, where do you put Willis Reed? And I'm like, oh. I said, I'm like not in my top 20 for centers. You know, I mean, like,
not in the top 20.
No, for centers, no. I mean, I would put, like, from that era, I would put Bill Bellamy. I'd put Bob Lanier, Nate Thurman, Wilt Chamberlain.
Well, Wilt, I get, and Bill Russell, but you know, I didn't. It was a little before my watching,
I would probably take Wesley Unseld over him.
I would take our Wesley. But you know what? There was a Bill Russell documentary that you put me onto, a 2-episode. Was it HBO, maybe?
Yeah, HBO Max.
Yeah. Which was phenomenal, by the way. I recommend it to everybody. I did not realize, just because I wasn't watching live, anything I saw was always recap stuff. And you don't spend enough time with somebody on just recap type videos and clips. How dominant and ridiculously dominant Bill Russell was on the court. It was unbelievable. Just some of the numbers were ridiculous. And just watching him play, it was.
I think the one that really just, when I watched that, because I knew it had happened, but they never really went. It was where they broke in and defecated on his house and shit.
Oh, the shit he had to deal with playing.
Yeah,
in
just
a
playing
very white city. Boston.
Yeah, playing in fucking Boston. Just a fucking. They're just like, you know what? And my whole thing is, yeah, it's a different era, man. It's a different era. Yeah, you know, they didn't have fucking, you know, they didn't have the talent they have now. Yeah, Bill Russell, you can't compare him with Jordan. Yeah, because Jordan was treated with respect and was a god, and they went in fucking Bill Russell's house and they shit in it. Like, how can you even compare the two fucking... let's just look at working conditions. Look at how your
life off the court, what you were...
And I like the fact that, that King wanted Russell with them, when he spoke in Washington, and he stood out in the crowd in the first row because he had joined the movement later and hadn't put the time in that some of the other other people had, and he wasn't going to take the accolades of being part of the civil rights movement without doing so.
Right.
And then he became more active after that. But it's just such a fucking class human being.
He was a big man in every way. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if he was playing today and you had the Game Time app, you'd be able to grab some last-minute tickets and get out and see him.
Them Celtics are going to the playoffs.
I'm excited about that.
I didn't pay attention to those tickets, but I think those were to Al Stewart, the Year of the Cat concert tour.
Well, I believe.
Oh, yes.
He's doesn't he have a Muslim name now? Didn't he? Is he
Al
the one
Stewart?
that converted? What's his name now?
No, Cat Stevens did.
Oh, Cat Stevens. I'm thinking Al Stewart might be dead now that I'm thinking about it. Yusuf Islam, Cat Stevens, right?
Yeah. Today's the first day of Ramadan.
Yeah, well, happy Ramadan, first of all. And do you have a little Cat Stevens for us today? I very much enjoyed Harry Chapin.
Let me think, man. Take good care. They got a lot of people down there. Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world.
I'll take the instrumental. We mentioned HBK before for kind of being a heat magnet, and it made me want to talk about this with you on camera here. We hear from the outside about workers that are disliked, and I don't mean by fans because they're playing heels. I mean, there's something about a person that in a locker room creates friction, or maybe promoters creates friction for promoters. Difficult people that fall on the wrestler shit list for whatever reason. And HBK is undoubtedly one of them. We'll put the disclaimer back in for your friend today. Very different. I know there's religion involved, and that's great. But
I mean, there's also personal growth. Most of us haven't been in the ring in 20 fucking years. It's like
I meet a lot of douchebags in this business that haven't been in a ring in 20 years. Present company excluded, obviously.
Well, I'm all ears. Let's just see where we
all
go.
Right.
With
So
this.
here's the thing. So you hear a bunch of shit, right? You hear about. We talked a few weeks ago.
But you have to realize your perspective is going to be different than mine because
that's why I'm talking to you.
I know you hear, and I lived with them, so
right. So you will maybe dispel. Last few weeks, that's kind of what we've been doing. We did the misconceptions of Kevin Nash. We did a nice tribute to.
I
Scott.
lied through that whole fucking thing. I was such a douchebag.
You fooled no one. So we talked about Rock's show, right? When he did the character based on HBK, which I guess stemmed from the real life heat that Dwayne had with him over. What I heard, and I guess I'm an outsider, so some shit over Leah Maivia and some things that Sean might have said about her and her promotion. You hear that Sean was perpetually arrogant. You also hear, and I'm wearing the shirt for it this week, that he may have kept some people down in the promotion. That I know that's generally assigned to the whole clique by some folks. But I call this the Tatanka shirt, by the way. And it's just a name that you always hear was problematic for others in the company. Am I wrong to believe this?
I would say that Sean doesn't have the greatest of track records before he got injured and left. I think when he came back, his second stint when he came back and did the Hells in the Cells, and I think that was a completely different Shawn Michaels.
So the injury and the time off, you're saying,
and grow. I think that he also. I think he didn't think he was going to be able to continue. I think that he thought that that his dream had been basically cut short, his run would be cut short, and on top of all that, a lot of those years that he didn't participate were big money years in the industry for top guys. But you know, the Rock stuff, that was after he came back from the injury. So, but I don't know. Everybody was still very, very territorial. You know, it was. I'm sure they would be to this day. You know. And
I'm doing a project outside of this that you know about, and it deals with the Kliq pretty significantly in this project. And something that I'm kind of learning from working with this other person is that though there was some self-serving nature to some of the decisions you guys made and some of the things you guys did in the company, most times you were talking about the company in general.
Yeah.
So even if it was moving one of you into a position, it was because you thought, but it was also lobbying for other guys that you thought made for a better product at a time where, you know, the WWF product could have gone either way. So, but would you say that was consistent for Shawn for Shawn Michaels in his decisions and in his
So you have to realize that I can only speak from a fucking 93 to 96 window.
Okay, so let's just talk about that, because that was the
and that was, I mean, that was when the Kliq was in its I mean, we didn't even call ourselves the Kliq. You know, Davey Boy came up, I think, with that name. Like, we didn't call ourselves the Kliq. We were just guys hanging out together, and it just
that was a name that came later. But
yeah, when I walked in the door and got in the car, and Duggan was sitting up front, and me and Shawn were in the back seat, and we're leaving that first Raw, and he said, "By the way, man, everybody hates us." He's talking about him and Scott. He's like, "Everybody hates us." And I'm like, "Oh, this should be fun." And then, like, I got along with most everybody, so when we had to, like, grub pills off people, they'd always go, Kev, you go, they like you.
Because they wouldn't want to share with them.
Yeah, they wouldn't. Nobody would give them motherfuckers anything.
Some rainbow stew.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I mean, you became friendly with Shawn, but was there ever a time, maybe when you first came in, where you thought it could have gone another way, where he rubbed you the wrong way?
No,
you were like, oh, this
because he requested me. I was the guy. Like, it wasn't like, hey, there's 4 guys. It was like, I want Nash. I know he's under contract. They said, no, that's not fun. We're not going to fuck around with him. He said he told Robbie Steiner that he can get out of his contract. And when I found out that I could be with Shawn, I knew that they were putting a rocket up his ass. I was like, fuck yeah. So I came in, and he was cool to me. And why wouldn't he be? Because he did need a bodyguard. You know, I mean, it was a shoot on, in the ring and on the road. You know, and then we had Scott with us, and the only time Shawn ever got fucked with was up in Syracuse when they split us up,
Mm-hmm.
And I went in to Vince when I got home from that trip, I said, this isn't a work, it's a shoot. I need to be with him. I need to take care of him.
Well, that right there, it's someone who needs a bodyguard in real life.
Well, he was also a handsome guy, and he'd walk into a bar and fucking the jack off that fucking just, it's got his girlfriend. She said, oh my God, that's Shawn Michaels. And Shawn was never that guy. Shawn was never somebody that was out chasing fucking ass. Shawn was fucked up by the time we got in the bar, but that's what he needed. He needed somebody to fucking watch his back, because we by the time we got into the fucking, whatever the disco was in Utica that night,
But I mean, There
That's
was
why
no
we-
behavior that rubbed people. Oh, listen, Tommy Rich was a great-looking guy. He was over. He didn't need bodyguards. What was it about Sean?
Different era.
Was it like Rob said, an energy, a bad energy? You didn't see it.
I got pissed off at him, but he was ultra competitive, and we all were. We all wanted more money. It was like, I guess when you got 5 guys, I mean, it was like the Kliq was trying to fucking get into the vault of, this bank. So we were doing a bank job. So the 5 of us, everybody knew what their job was, and we were working on fucking opening the safe. That's what we were worried about. We really didn't give a fuck about anybody around us. The 5 of us were opening the safe.
I just found the film, everybody. It
That's
took
it.
us 6 or 7 months, but I just found the movie. Let the slapstick begin. Okay, another name. Let's move off of Sean now. Sid is another name that we hear is problematic. Unreliable, maybe?
I think more problematic with the booking committees, where they kind of said, "Hey, we're going to give you Hogan's boots." He's like, "I think you need a big vicious heel." As far as the guys, everybody likes Sid. He didn't hurt you.
He wasn't careless in the ring?
No. I mean, people joked about him because when it came down to it, he'd rather play softball in the summer than fucking wrestle. And God, imagine this: he'd rather play softball than bounce around the country on a fucking ring. God.
Well, who wouldn't, right? I mean,
Exactly. It's like when it comes down to it, if you could do whatever the fuck you want to do, would you do what you're doing right now? If you could, somebody get whatever you wanted to do, if it was stay home and watch Netflix, it would pay you the same as you make right now on your job. Would you be doing what you're doing? I mean,
I like it. I'm a bad person. I like being creative. I have to create or I die. So I would definitely still be doing something with. Send me the check, and I would still be making product somehow. But point well taken. All right, so no, you didn't feel any
and I'd still
heat.
be jerking off. So
I'd still didn't say I was going to stop that, but
that's what I get paid for.
Did so no Sid heat didn't see any.
I didn't. I don't think Sid ever had heat. He didn't with me.
Well, so maybe this is a promoter thing. Maybe all the stories I think
about
booking Sid.
He had more of a, and I think that he had some issues when he got away from the business. Sid was very cool. I've always liked Sid. I've always considered Sid a friend.
I liked Sid as a performer so much that the interview we had set up on Breaking Kayfabe that he didn't make it to because he lost his wallet at the airport. I was going to talk to him about, like, the whole angle of that was I felt he should have been one of the biggest names in the history of the business. From the look at the time and the intensity on camera, someone could have helped him with the verbiage on the promos.
It wasn't here.
The heart.
He didn't have this. He didn't
For
want
those of you listening, he's pointing to his heart. He didn't want it.
He didn't want it. No. He wanted to play fucking softball.
He wanted to play softball. So he was his own worst booker, I think.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you, it's not, when people say, Nash did it for the money, you know what? When you tear your quad and the doctor comes in and goes, nobody comes back from a quad tear at 42. You say, the fuck I'm going to. They say it's going to be a year and you come back in 7 months. That's somebody that's pretty determined to get back in the ring. So for somebody
but you didn't love wrestling. You loved the business, the creativity of the business.
I loved to wrestle.
You did.
I just didn't love to wrestle and fucking. I didn't love to wrestle for the sake of wrestling. If it was a pay-per-view or if it was a good storyline or you were out there working with somebody that could go, But just to go out there to put fucking, the old 8 to 12, go with your finish. That assembly line bullshit,
Well, but that's what I mean. The creativity of the crafting the perfect storyline and doing
but
shit at the right time.
You can't do it in 8 to 12
minutes.
Yeah, you can't do it in 8 to 12. That's like, you know what, man? Go tear that fucking. See that fucking hot piece of ass over there? Go tear that shit up. 8 to 10 minutes. What?
I'd probably bring it home in seconds.
Shit, I'd be still kissing the bitch.
Bob Holly, you sometimes hear, was stiff.
He was stiff. That wasn't the Bob that I knew when I was in the business. Like I said, again, 93 to 96. That wasn't the Bob Holly I dealt with. Bob was opening match or second match. He worked his ass off, stayed quiet. Him and Sid fucking were training partners. He loved to go to the gym. He fucking dieted. He ate fucking smart. He wasn't a fucking drunk. I had no problem with him.
But some other workers did, and was that the main issue, the stiffness? Anytime I've been around Bob, I've liked Bob very much.
I think that, when we had that one stiff one when he was going to basically fucking
dissect Ken Kennedy?
Make fucking
Leatherface.
Make Gacy look like fucking the Peace Corps.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? Do
we have an intense cat? A contemporary. No, listen, not a problem. A contemporary name that you hear is shit. Well, I'm saying contemporary because it's more recent than the names that I've put out. But SHEAMUS, always heard, was an asshole. And I asked all the guys that I had on who were newer guys that worked with him, and on camera, everyone fucking baby-faced. More than one person, when we cut, said, by the way, SHEAMUS, total asshole. So, what have you heard?
Like I said, I haven't heard anything, but nobody's going to... SHEAMUS and Triple H are tight. They know that Paul and I are tight, so fucking that's going to go right. You're not going to fucking say shit to me. I was pissed off when I came back in Boston when McIntyre and him fucking, they were pounding on me, and I was fucking, the crowd was yelling Diesel, 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 and they just, they were just, it was like a shoot. They were pounding me so fucking hard, and I was just like, it was one of those deals like, fuck, man, I'm not gonna get in a fist fight out here if you can't.
But it was that stiff that you were thinking
Jesus
about giving
Christ,
a receipt?
Man. I didn't know how else I was going to be able to fucking make a comeback with them because they weren't going to. I hit one of them with something like a working shot, and they sold it. And I'm just like, yeah.
See, now that's dickish, is it not?
Or it's inexperience. If you can't hear the fucking people, then it's not, You
can't hear the people, and then selling what should be a comeback.
Well, it just tells it. Put it this way: it's not a good thing when a 50-year-old or whatever, how old I was then. I know I was in my 50s. When I walked down the aisleway with my hair dyed black and put my glove on, and they took pictures, I didn't look any different than I did when I was fucking 34. So, Shark Tank says, fuck that. They're going to push this old fucker over us, fucking kill him. So, I had no intention.
I'm surprised you took that so...
Just wasn't. I got in the car. I turned on fucking Twitter. I was trending #1 worldwide. I said, "Bingo."
All right. Listen, you're much more controlled.
The think
in the
Dallas-
moment, in
I
the
think
moment,
Da-
in the ring.
I think Dallas used to say it. He used to call me Cavalier Kev. Like, fuck it, man.
That sounds like Dallas, actually. All right, another name, Sonny.
Sonny, also true. I'll feed you, little shit. I didn't like her. I actually liked her, like, you know, when she was going through all her trials and tribulations and trying to get her shit together, and we'd run into each other. I would have good conversations with her.
But back then,
I think but no, she just, you know, she was the original diva. You know, I think she played it, and it was just like, you ain't drawing a fucking dime. So,
was she cunty to the boys?
To some,
That she wasn't screwing.
but like I said though, then again, I think I'm the only guy in the business that didn't hit it. So, you know. And Brad, who got fucking accused of it.
What a shame.
Fuck.
By Sean on camera. Sunny days. The sunny days comment.
Imagine
That wasn't
that.
very
Me working for you. Whoa, signs everywhere, signs.
So that may play into some of the HBK dickiness.
I saw a thing
Just
that I
throwing
was
that
going through the other day, and Brett was, it was like one wall of the cage was up, and Brett was in the ring, and he was saying, "I don't give a shit. It's just bullshit." It was after they fucked him, and Vince was out there. It looked like he had like a coaching poncho, like rain gear on or some shit. And it was in black and white. Excuse me. And I don't know what it was from, but I mean, it was Brett going on a tirade.
Is this the shot?
Yeah, that's it.
I don't remember. Was that a house show? Okay, so Sonny, I guess, kind of confirmed there. Warrior sometimes makes the shit list.
I just think he was just insane.
He was insane, but when you give your body to someone who's insane,
he didn't really do anything though. All he did was clothesline and splash. It wasn't like he fucking had an arsenal of suplexes, and he wasn't.
Well, he would do the press slam.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Right.
Yeah, I ain't gonna drop yet. He's dry. He's press slamming you over his. He's not dropping you on your head. You're landing like you're doing a belly bump. No, he. You talk about somebody that had fucking. I had 5 moves. What that motherfucker have?
3.
Take out. What did Cornelius say? Take out the hair flip. I had 4. Right. Take out shaking the ropes.
Shake the ropes.
He had 2. But you got that classic fucking when I don't know if he was running a Warriors wrestling camp.
Uh-huh.
And there's that fucking thing, and the guy says, you know, he's tired. He's like, fuck! Are you fucking... What you fucking might have been on this planet, twerp, you motherfucker! And these kids are just like, he just goes berserk, and I'm just like, see, like that, I could have got if Jim would have been that guy around me, I would have fucking be like, yeah, cool.
What about his booking difficulties, refusals to job? Did you hear any of that?
I think it's just the fact that he wasn't allergic to the bearskin rug.
All right, so since you brought it up, it's a famous line from Scott. What's the origin? What's the genesis of Vince and
you can never
Warrior bearskin rug?
There is none. It's one of those fucking.
Well, who first threw it out there? Was it Scott first?
No, it was a story that we heard that was doctored. It was the start at the front of the class. Your mom has a fire hose in her hand, and it gets to the back of the third grade class, and your mom's fucking everybody at the firehouse.
Right.
So it was that.
I prefer
kind
to
of
leave the story intact. It's a very loving image I have in my head. Okay, JBL. Locker room bully, feared by everybody. Workers like Edge was one of them I know that claimed a lot of hazing at his hand.
I feel like I'm on that show fucking Rivals right now. And they're going around and they're talking about Batista and Edge's angle that I wasn't there for the entire fucking time. And they're trying, like, JBL was, he just started. All I remember when JBL, we were on a European trip and he used to bring a bull rope to the ring with a bell on it. I stole it before his match. And then all through his match, I would take my hand and stick it through the curtain of the ring entrance and ring his bell, like ring the bell on the rope like a dick. And then when he came back, he was just laying there, like nobody was going to say anything. It was just like it was a rib. But I mean, that's JBL didn't.
But you talk to workers and you never.
Yeah, but that's not. It's like, so I haven't seen Edge and fucking. Me and Edge sat down and had dinner in New Orleans, one of those two shows. I hadn't seen him in forever, and there was a couple of. I think Ray was there. There was a couple of us where it was like in a little restaurant that was in the hotel. It was later at night, and I think guys were going in there to get drinks, and we ended up. I think Edge and I ended up eating, and but when you catch up, it's just not like, hey, can I ask you a question? JBL, you ever rough you up in the ring? It's like it just doesn't come up.
Okay, doesn't come up. Here's a name that I know you're not going to babyface: Bill Watts.
Dick.
Everything we hear is true. Bully.
I should have beat the fuck out of him. And Cornell will hear this again. I'd like to see you try. Everybody thought that guy was so fucking tough. I'll guarantee that fucker had a glass jaw.
Well, he was tough when he asked somebody to get on all fours, and they did, and then he
mule kick you in the fucking chin. You know. I don't know. Maybe I didn't know him well enough. I don't know.
But your interactions with him were when he came in as a booker for Vince. No,
he was in charge of WCW, and he took
for
everybody that was on contract and put us on nightlies.
Didn't you then, though, work with him again in WWE and had an altercation at Madison Square Garden?
He had the privilege to work underneath my reign.
Underneath my reign.
He had no fucking say-so in anything that I did.
Didn't you go home in about 4 minutes with Yoko when he was
after it took
agenting?
After it took him 45 minutes to put it was like 2 minutes. After it took him 45 minutes to put the ring up.
The cage,
I mean. Yeah. Fuck this. You're sitting there and you watch everybody packing up their shit and going home, and these fucking guys can't put the cage together. And Yoko and I, because Yoko and I have been on the road for 23 fucking days, and you guys just are going home tomorrow after fucking your 3-day stint. Let us sit around here for 45 fucking minutes. Fuck us. No, fuck you.
Was that, though, a receipt for when you worked with him in WCW, or?
No, he had nothing to do with it. He just stayed and watched it, so he could be a cunt. So he could fucking. You guys didn't put in much time, and I knew that's what he was going to do. So no matter what we did was going to be fucking not enough. So why do anything? Right? if he's already going to just stay there because this is the first time I can't go, Vince, shut him the fuck up because Vince is gone. So now he's going to fucking run his dick sucker. It's like, no, you're not going to run your dick sucker. You're going to, what the fuck was that? Fucking, didn't you hear the people? Felt right to me. Walked right by him. Go fucking eat my ass. You want to talk to me? Fucking, I'll be in the shower. I'll bend over. I'll wash it up good. You can fucking get in there like fucking Sandusky and fucking have a little horseplay with my fucking anus.
That's an ingenious creation. I do love it. What else? Another thing I love, Kevin, is when your public has access to you. And hashtag AskNash is how you can do that out there.
God, I love it. No, I love it so. George C. Scott Patton.
A little Patton. Sometimes we get musicals. Sometimes we get dramatic reads. Never know what's coming. I love it. Fernham Schnavitz says, besides Scott, is there another friend or wrestler that's passed that you still miss? Obviously not including your son. Love you.
Tess.
Andrew?
Yeah, Andrew. Rude.
John Tenta, obvious.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about people I travel. I spent time traveling with. I know I'm forgetting.
Those two are fine.
Yeah.
A fine selection.
I'm sorry, but yeah, my Rolodex on death doesn't go too far. I don't get too far out of Scott and my son right now.
Anyone from the audience have something we can bring up? Our live studio audience, David. Kevin, at WrestleMania 18 with Rock and Hulk, was it always the plan for you and Scott to attack Hulk after the match, or was that on the fly due to the crowd reaction? Take us back to that night and Raw after.
No, it was, we were supposed to, the original was, Hogan was not supposed to get that response, though he got it the entire fucking, from Rosemont moving forward. But we were supposed to go over on Stone Cold, the two of us, which changes the whole coming down. And then we were supposed to leave Rock leave Rock in a pile, and the NWO was supposed to come out of it strong, and which would have been heat out of WrestleMania, and they changed that the night before, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Correct, Mr. Whisper. Eric Bischoff recently spoke on his live Q&A about an altercation in Casper, Wyoming, where you and Hall almost went to blows with Hulk Hogan in the back before a show. Eric said he had to go get in between you all. What was this over? Creative control? Do you recall Casper, Wyoming?
No. I mean, that was during all that fucking bike shit. It was.
Road Wild?
Yeah. Scott and I were probably in a bad mood because fucking we were so tired of driving around with those fucking motorcycles in a goddamn brown Taurus.
Smelling fuel,
just a fucking
emission the whole time?
Just, you know, you're supposed to be at the top of your fucking career, and you know, because Ted Turner likes yachting, we're gonna have a match on fucking on a yacht. It's like, goddamn, man. You know what? The guy, like Eric and those guys had a ball there, and I would never want to deprive that, especially when you run in the fucking company and you made me rich. But in retrospect, I just didn't fucking. I don't care for Bike Week here. I just know that if I hit if somebody fucks up, and they're drunk and they cross over, and even though I fucking got the reflexes of fucking Bobby Allison in his prime, I'm going to fucking hit you. And I'm going to probably fucking kill you. And It's just fucked up. You know, like,
But Hogan, the altercation with Hogan, you don't recall what it was about?
Oh, I'm sure we were fucking. I'm sure we were like fucking with him. I know he had a fucking. I remember one time somebody told me he made a blade, like he was gonna cut our faces if we came at him.
It got that heated?
I think it was more. He got it. We were. Hey, you want to talk about a couple of dicks? Get fucking Hall and Nash fucking to 2-on-1. Yeah, we'll put JBL, Sheamus. We'll put you can put all those motherfuckers in a blender. Sean.
Oh, don't think your name wasn't in every fucking research article that I pulled for that segment.
Yeah,
but
fuck. I mean,
we covered you last week, though.
I'm no walk in the fucking park, and Scott definitely wasn't. So it's just like, you know what? The reason we got along with Sean because we were all fucking pricks.
But that Hogan doesn't work for me an hour before the show. Did it just fucking drive you crazy?
Yeah. At the time, in retrospect, man, he must have fucking. That'd be like having one chip left, and you get dealt a fucking. You're playing 5-card stud, and you get dealt, and you just fucking. Everybody's looking at you like, he's fucking done. He just turns over that big fucking ace of spades. I'll take 4. Like, fuck you, man. Like, you still got that ace, man. Boom. Doesn't work for me, brother. Especially when you're writing that shit and you got to time it and put commercials and boy, fucking 7:45 to retime an entire show. Good luck.
Right. Brandon Good. Kev, I've listened to almost every episode, and I don't think this has been asked. I know that when the Kliq This podcast started, T was and still is a big part of the show. I've always wanted to know if Scott planned to be part of the show, like you, Scott, and Sean together. It was no, Scott, because he was sick when we talked about this.
But Scott used to do a thing on called Last Call with Scott Hall. He used to do like a little thing he put on Instagram. He had no. This was.
I would have, though, if he weren't sick.
Scott passed in March. Our first show was about Scott, which was in July.
But when we were serious about signing, and we did, that was like February when we started talking, February or March, and he was already sick. But I would have, certainly the thing is called Kliq This, I would have had all your friends on.
Yeah.
Anything from the audience? What do we got here? People patiently staying up with us to the wee hours of the goddamn morning. Travis Medway, hey guys, question for Kev. I remember him advocating a 100-rep workout. Does he still do this? Just remind me on the details. Is it with rests?
It was a workout done by Steve Mahalik, and of course you have to go very, very light. It works great if you end up in like a hotel gym. And, something like that where you could do, say, flat bench dumbbell presses with your hands in like this and do 30s for 100 reps. It's one of those things. And you're going to have to rest because 100 reps of anything is going to be, it's going to tax you cardiovascular-wise. But it's a good... Also, though, it's one of those things where when you're injured and you're coming back and you're so geared to that 8 to 12 reps, and it's just like you're thinking like, oh, I'll do this for 8 reps. Like, no, man, you don't need to do that for 8 reps. That's what you do. Like, you need just to get the nerves, because when they cut through your shit, they cut through your nerves, they cut through your muscles. Everything has to rejuvenate. Everything has to regenerate. And the best thing you can do is to let the pathways, let all that shit start firing. And by doing 100 reps, you're basically reteaching that fiber, what to do in that movement.
Okay. Well, there you go. anything else in the house here? What else do we have? Travis, I hope that helps your next workout. Liam Evans. Kev, I see you're in Manchester next month. What are your plans for that weekend other than the con?
I know that Dallas and I are going to catch you dinner because we haven't had dinner in a while, so we'll catch you dinner. I get in Friday early. I think I get into Manchester around 10:30, 11, and I think we just signed Saturday and then fly home Sunday. So I'll probably be at the hotel bar at some point Friday evening, having a cocktail.
All right, Liam. So if you see him, buy him a cocktail. This is the For the Love of Wrestling, which they are not going with any capital letters in that title for some reason. It troubles me ever so slightly. But this will be April 29th and 30th in Manchester.
Is it 2 days?
I don't know if you're 2 days, but there's 2 days listed here, Saturday and Sunday.
Maybe I have 2 days.
And all the big names there. So
hold on a second. Let me
cost you 42 pounds to get your photo taken with Kev. Barbarian will be there as well.
How's my prices? Let me see somebody else. Who's a Hall of Famer in there?
Let's see. Zoom in here. We got some negotiations going to happen right now. You get I guess that's a group photo. Big Show, Nash.
So Goldberg is 78. How much am I?
42.
Good for Bill.
Good for Bill. All right.
Good for Bill. That motherfucker will be easy to no-show.
Jim Davis, can you explain why Lex Luger is not in the WWE Hall of Fame and some lesser-known wrestlers are? This goes back to our Hall of Fame discussion.
I don't know a rhyme or reason to any of that.
Well, we'll investigate.
Yeah.
Kevin knows people that know these answers. Price check on Jackass is this next question. Big Kev, what's your opinion on Yao Ming's career? And where do you think he would have wound up ranking amongst the greatest big men had injuries not ended his career so soon?
He was tough, man. He played Shaq real well. He was he was like that kid from Purdue, but like very athletic, strong. Yeah.
Could he have been one of the more noteworthy centers if he wasn't sidelined?
I think that I think I am there Saturday and Sunday. I just checked. I fly out on Monday. Yeah, he had good touch. He just had, it's like that. Like how good would Odom have been out of Ohio State? That first round choice that he never. I just saw him on an ad during the Final Four. I'm like, wow, man. There's a. It's not like he was a LaRue Martin, where like the guy that went, early. It was LaRue Martin went like the first pick, and he was a disaster.
A bust. Yeah. What do we have in the house? Let's round us out with a couple of questions from the house. Brian Haramza. You mentioned on the show last week that you're not a fan of the big guy from Gonzaga. Why not? Why no love for Drew Timme or Gonzaga?
That's just the kind of guy that he's a great player. I just know that I'd have to cover him, and it'd be a fucking that's one of those nightmares. A white boy that can play, it's like, oh God.
So it's actually like a compliment then.
Yeah,
to him
it's a
that
compliment.
You said that.
It's like, yeah. I remember I played against Tom Chambers at Utah.
Tom Chambers.
That
He played for
motherfucker,
Phoenix, right?
Yeah, that fucker had hops. He was a good ball player.
I don't hear from him. What is he doing? Yeah. Josh, is he a 7-foot punk?
I think so.
Referring to Mr. Timme.
No, he's not that tall. I don't think Timmy's much more than 6'9".
Right. 6'9" was like a forward in the NBA.
Yeah, a fucking shooting guard.
Yeah. All right, let's round out here with, let's bring up somebody else here to, Bobby. Kev, did Eric tell you what to wear to the June 10th, 1996 Nitro when you debuted? Did you arrive to the venue in a limo?
I know I wore what the fuck I wore because that's a bar bat baseball cap I had on. And fucking Missy Hyatt was bartending there, and she gave me that hat. I saw her when I was in
LeBar
town.
Bat in Manhattan?
Yeah.
Oh, I was there a few times.
Yeah, that was LeBar Bat. Yeah. That's what that hat is I have on.
I never knew that. That's crazy.
Yeah. I wouldn't imagine they would have put us in a limousine because it would have brought eyes to us. Because I was supposed to be there. Right. And it was like someplace, I think it was in Wheeling, West Virginia or some.
All right. Well, what more can be said other than Kliq This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast.
So do we want to real quick just touch our brackets to know because it'll be over by the time we fucking come next. So.
Well, it's kind of all here on that pre-show, which was the show, didn't we?
Oh, that is true.
We brought them all up on screen.
Absolutely right. So
Wesley is sprinting to the finish line, an upset in the making.
He's not there yet, baby.
That's what I'm predicting.
He's missing one of the final four.
Oh my God, I was out, I was out faster than a drunken prom date. So if anyone's keeping score, there we are. So now I have no goddamn chance in this fucking thing, do I? So this is gonna. You know what though, Steve? As pathetic as your points are, you have a max possibility if you max out at 140. So the future for you there is, me and Dom we're sweeping the fucking arena.
You guys are actually we're the other three of us are going to use you guys for organs. Organ donation at this point.
You're gonna eat us on the island.
Yeah, butterflies or whatever.
Make a decent meal. Oh well, folks.
Yellow Jackets. That's that. I've got this. Isn't that what it's called?
The show, the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw it streaming. I watched the first year. I'm like, oh fuck! But I'm watching that What If right now, which everybody hates Zellweger. So I'll be the only one watching that.
Producer Steve Kaufmann, graphics by Dominic Deangelo, title sequence and audio edit by Wesley Burrelson, theme song by Dale Oliver. A lot of people putting the song over lately.
Yeah.
Technical research was by Tristan Nash. Copyright 2023. Butch and Sundance Media. Kev, will you do another one as the Kliq This March Madness champion next week?
I mean, I was kind of. I don't think I had a proper grasp on where it was going the first week, but this week I think we got the psychology of what we're looking for. As the Florida guy needs to be the most Florida, and the Jersey needs to be the most Jersey, not necessarily. It says your Mac will sleep soon unless. What the fuck, man?
This is touching on the technical difficulties that kept our live audience in their seats for a half hour. You're probably just unplugged.
Oh, Jesus,
that would explain. Maybe it wasn't a power outage. That would explain what happened there.
No, it's the fuck. I moved my desk out.
This is really what people should watch. The Fred Flintstone in Silicon Valley aspect of the show every week.
Yeah, because I'm usually too busy at this point of the night counting my fucking Bitcoin.
Listen, the windscreen is valuable. I always debate whether I should put it on here, and so I not worry about my plosives. Steve Kaufmann, ladies and gentlemen, about to make an announcement about His
No, we're just
his
fucking
future
around
with the
with
company? No, what? No big announcement coming.
that announcement is for other people to make.
Let me just tell. All right, before we go
How
off the air,
can people be so
just tell everybody how much Steve. Everybody on this show is great. Dom, who does our social media. I know I read everybody's credits, and Wesley, very talented artist, and he does the audio editing. But whenever we need graphics in a pinch, he's like Superman. And Steve is like a workhorse. I mean, you could put anything on this guy's back. He not only does what you guys see here, the live management of this show and maybe some others on the network, but he does this. Then he takes what we've done, he refines it. He works the video stuff. He works with Wesley on the audio, provides him in the audio, and then it's strategy to managing what you guys see on YouTube and maximizing the visibility. It's a thankless job, but it's one that makes these shows go. These shows go because of guys like Steve, our entire crew. But Steve's staring at you right now, so I just want to thank you, Steve. It is quite a task.
We got a good crew.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Crew, man.
And now we can sign off.
It's like anything else. Don't know what you got till it's gone. Oh. I'm thinking about writing a song like that.